Wow, only 2 minutes late. Let me tell you something. I did both kids drop off today and still made it home. What? That's great. And I was only 2 minutes late. I was fully expecting to do sidebar. I was fully expecting to do coffee talk today from a parking lot. Either the school, the daycare. I didn't know, but here we are. We're together and it feels so good. Anyway, good morning to you. It is Monday morning, 8:02 in the AM. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and this is Coffee Talk. We get together, come hell or high water, 7 days a week to chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And during the week, we do our thing at 3:30 as well. So good times. Let's see how beautiful it is. This is a shot from our tower cam, Daytona Beach. My gosh. That is a stunning start to the day. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this morning with you. Even if it was a little hectic, we all go through a little hecticness, and it's good. It's good, right? Yeah. All right. First warning live Doppler radar. Looking great in Central Florida. Nothing to see here other than interference, which just frustrates me more than anything. So no rainfall there. 78 in Orlando right now. It is 73 in Ocala, 74 degrees in DeLand, and 75 in Titusville. I always forget we got the little Lee box, so we got to do the half-screen version of this. Forecast today. Couple things. Great to start. We are going to get into thunderstorms this afternoon. 40, 50% coverage or so. And some of those storms are going to want to get a little stronger. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's not chaos or anything, but with that storm coverage, today there is a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. And when we break that down further, because of course we should, right? Here's kind of the threat breakdown for us, and it's mainly going to be winds. That's our bigger concern today. So far so good, right? We can handle that. Just want to make sure everybody's aware. Okay? All right. Michelle says, painting my deck today in Palm Coast. Maybe I should wait. Well, let's do this then. Let's get a look at Futurecasts. All right? And let's just kind of see where the day takes us, okay? So first off, this morning, Futurecast is looking great, right? Through time, perfect. Into the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, things are going to start to bubble up, and you can kind of see the stuff continues through dinner time or so. So in terms of the overall forecast for today, it's not going to be really focused much at the beaches. Most of the activity is going to be across the interior areas. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. Julie says we need the rain. We don't need the wind. Is there wind? Is there a wind component to this today? Is there? Maybe. I mean, it's going to pick up. And not only the wind, but like we're also going to be watching the surf really picking up the next few days. Watch how through Friday, these are breaking waves running 5 to 7 feet. And it's all courtesy of that storm system in the bottom left corner of your screen, now back to major hurricane status. Of course, we're talking about Hurricane Lee. So with that, I guess we can talk a little bit about Lee, right? Here's the statistics as of the 5 a.m. advisory. Maximum sustained winds are at 120 miles an hour, kind of trying to seemingly undergo another eye wall replacement cycle where it's going to kind of throw this core out, build a new one, and then increase its wind field, increase its overall organization. It's one of the more incredible things that tropical systems do. All right, Diane says, pickup time. I know, and because the wife's got a what would you call it? Something that we all are required to do sometimes, and she got called to do so she's not able to be picking up the kids today. So I have to tell the bosses that I'm probably going to have to duck out of the office a little early for that. Chris is asking, what's the appropriate thing to say about today's remembrance? Certainly not happy 9/11. Agreed. And that's why I didn't mention it off the top of the broadcast. I was going to, and will still mention it at the end. But yeah, you obviously don't say that. But it's going to be something that we all should keep in our minds. But we'll discuss that toward the end of Coffee Talk. But we'll discuss the weather first, right? So there's Hurricane Lee. The good news with Lee is that the forecast has been remarkably consistent, right? There's the current forecast cone from the Hurricane Center. Expected to continue strengthening. That eyewall replacement cycle today should pulse it to a Category 4 storm, and then as it lifts to the north, kind of start to recurve. But look at the forecast models. That is not the most beautiful scenario. Just watching, okay? Just watching this here. A lot of models take it toward like the Bay of Fundy and Nova Scotia. We look at the ensembles off the global models, and they're more diverged today. Now, you know, for the entirety of this storm's genesis, like that recurvature was pretty clearly noted. Also note that the ensemble plots are pretty clear that Bermuda will not take a direct landfall from this. But afterward, boy, from New England to coastal Canada, this could get to be a mess. It could recurve and stay out to sea. It also couldn't. It may or may not, I guess, is the better way to put it. So, man, this is not going to be the most fun scenario to watch if you live up north. So let's do this. Let's look at the GFS. 6E is the most recent run of the GFS. Give me 2 seconds here. What's the storm's name? Lee. All right. Let me just get this. Scene camera position over Lee. Okay. All right. So here's the American GFS model. We're just going to roll this through time. All right. So going near Bermuda, but you can clearly see like gusty winds for Bermuda, but at least keeping the core of the storm away. And then afterward, let me just move this. You know, afterward, this is the wind field. This is the wind field product of the GFS. All right. I mean, you're still talking nasty winds, and look at that. You know, like for coastal Massachusetts, this could be even if it stays well offshore. You know, you're still talking about hurricane force winds out there, out at the Cape, right? Like Nantucket, Barnstable, Sandwich. It's gonna be a mess. And then it's weakening, but you're still, you know, up and down like the down east of Maine there. Portland's going to be talking about tropical storm, strong tropical storm force winds, at least according to the GFS run. And then it kind of just working right into, I mean, the operational GFS is taking it into like Bar Harbor, which like we were just there. The idea of a hurricane getting into Bar Harbor is like crazy to me. Now, at this point, it looks like it would be more of a tropical storm, but either way. So that's the GFS run. Let's look at the European run. Which this is, yes, Don, jury duty. I was just trying to be a little more coy. All right, so here's the European model. It's got to go and get the data because I haven't pulled it up yet today. So, oh, and actually I have to switch it. No, it's good. It just needs to go buffer. All right, so buffering the data. Oh, you're going to take forever? Of course you're going to take forever. All right, so there it goes. Passing near Bermuda. Okay, I know. There it goes, passing Bermuda. Look at that. I mean, now on this model, you know, you're talking about you're talking about hurricane force winds out here at the Cape. You know, that's not good. Now, it will be weakening, but even the European is bringing a strong tropical storm or a hurricane right into the Bay of Fundy there. I mean, that's wild. Doesn't happen very often, but this would be a very big wind maker for them. It would be a very big rain maker for them. It would be a mess, really. But that's computer model guidance. Those are single runs of single models. But it's important to note that's the guidance that we're looking at. So the Hurricane Center's forecast does not go out that far yet. That's where the Hurricane Center's forecast is at right now. Category 1 sometime next weekend off the coast of basically Delaware, right? And then afterward, it'll be interesting to see how that recurves. But for us, in terms of our local forecast, happy to report that it is going to stay well out to our east. So Central Florida is going to have impacts in terms of much, much rougher wind concerns offshore, rip currents, and obviously very rough surf. Hector, so this looks like it's going to hit Bar Harbor and Acadia National. And we were just up there a couple of weeks ago. Oh my gosh. We were just up there. Man. Debbie, me being coy? I know. Is Lee going to Bangor into Maine? I hope not, Yukon. If there's, I hope this thing could stay a fish storm. You know me though, like I love like tropical meteorology. If you haven't figured it out yet, tropical meteorology is absolutely my shtick. That's my specialty. What I don't love though is when tropical meteorology impacts people. I'll track them all day long, but I will always hope that they remain, a fish storm. So that's kind of those are the ensembles on the global models. It doesn't look great. What did I say to Debbie and Chris? What else is drink? I didn't say the word, I thought. Stevie B over on YouTube says I'm on Long Island. Hey, Stevie, watch this thing. I mean, either way, it's going to give you some good gusts. Excuse me. Michelle, my 93-year-old father-in-law lives in the Bay in Wareham, Massachusetts. Should I be worried? Don't be worried yet, but if he's in a place where he needs power, like if he's on oxygen or something, then it may be worth kind of thinking, where could we move him to? Because up there, even with tropical storm force wind gusts, you're talking about a ton of trees down. So that's going to be a concern there for sure. Audra says, that could be interesting with the tides in Fundy. Oh, that's the other element, absolutely. And it all depends on the angle of attack, too. Because you could be talking about pulling even more water out of Fundy if it goes east. If it goes west by chance, you're piling up even more water into Fundy. So, yeah, I mean, that's another element, too. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, you're switching... Oh, Fundy is drink. Is that a thing? When did you guys change that? God, at this point, we're all going to be hyped up on coffee then. It is fun, though, to use the word Fundy, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So that's kind of where we're at right now with Lee. Okay. But remember, Hurricane Center issues a 5-day forecast for a reason. Okay. Because outside of 5 days, the forecast predictability does go down. All right? Any questions on this before we move on and look at what else is out there? Beverly says, I will breathe better when it turns. A hurricane would be interesting in Thunderhole. Yeah, I don't have any desire for that. We were just there too, Beverly. Seriously, I loved Maine. Like if I could be a snowbird, I feel like I would set up shop in Maine during the summer. Jeez, I'm sucking my coffee down today. We need it. It's a Monday, and it's one of the Mondayer of Mondays, right? Yeah. Kathy, think there will be airport closures in the north? Too early to tell. And anybody today's Monday. That forecast is for Saturday, right? So you're still talking a week out. Like that's where it'll be this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you're literally talking a week out. Yeah. I heard Epcot is going to reimagine Test Track to reflect the old world of motion. The theme was fun to be free. Yeah, that they announced that, so yeah. The only bad thing about commenting in public groups are the predatory profiles fishing for lonely hearts. Yeah, ignore them. Block them. I can't stand that garbage either. I really can't. Marissa, so looking better for New York, New Jersey? At the moment, the tropical plots and ensembles are keeping it out there. But New England to Nova Scotia is a thing. Yeah. But what about those nights, Linda? Ugh. Listen. Ugh. Not great. But look, if JRP's healthy, then I'll be happy. But it was a win is a win. But it wouldn't have been. The thing is it wouldn't have even been Boise that beat the Knights. It would have been the Knights that beat the Knights. Oh well. All right. Somebody's asking about Nigel. There is no storm named Nigel. We do not have a storm named Nigel. So here's the list so far. Margot is out there. And the good news with Margot is that it will lift to the north and not bother us. Right? It's out there. Here's a look at it if you want to be all feisty with where it is. And just for location, it's out in the middle of nowhere. Just to give you an idea, there's Lee on the left side near Bermuda. There's the Canary Islands, the Cabo Verde Islands, the coast of Africa. There's Margot, okay? Margot lifts to the north, behaves itself, and will not bother us, okay? All right, so what about the rest of the tropics, right? Oh, 2B, got you. All right, so Invest 97, let's take a look. Invest 97 is there kind of on the left side of the screen. It's that little area there. Not really going to do much. And actually, the development chance is down to 10%. So Invest 97 is not going to do its thing. But to the coast of Africa we go. And behind Invest 97, that little wave now has a 60% chance of developing. Okay, and to quote the National Hurricane Center, a tropical depression could form by the weekend while it moves west-northwest 15 to 20 miles an hour. Yeah, it's disorganized, but there it is, just south of the Cabo Verde Islands. You kind of see it there on the left side of the screen. So what are the models doing? Like what, let's take a peek at kind of the broad range, right? So let's look at the entire Atlantic Basin and see. Hi, you going to listen to me? I'm clicking the button. There you go. All right. So there's Lee and Margot. There's what may become Nigel over the open Atlantic, and it's doing its thing. And recurves as well, and I'm fine with that, That's the GFS, keeping us quiet. And then something else after that around the 27th. Let's come over to the European, see what's doing. There's Lee and Margot. We'll go back and run because it's the only way. There's Nigel. Recurving. Yeah. Let's go to the Canadian model just because. There's Lee. There's Margot on the Canadian. There's Nigel. Looking good. What else we got here? The Icon. Yeah. Lee and Nigel. Yeah. Margot. Nothing. So, we're looking good. We're looking good, people. You happy with that? Are you entertained? I'm totes fine with it. Totes fine with it all. Yeah, looking good. Sometimes you have to double click them. Listen, I clicked it. I clicked it several times. Daggum thing. I was clicking the button. Recurving is fine by me. Oh, Becca, for sure. For sure. Yeah. We are entertained. Very good. Totes fine. Is that still a thing? Probably not. But nobody ever said that I was cool, you know? Hey, interesting. Recon data. I just dialed this up. Oh, of course, I need to switch it. Hold on. Interesting recon data this morning. I just dialed this up, and it looks like they found some borderline Cat 3, Cat 4 winds. 949 and 948 pressure. So the first drops on found 948. Second drops on found, or excuse me, first found 949. Second found 948. Heilige Volt. Speak English, Burris. So it looks like pressure's dropping a little bit. 948. The official is 950. So pressure's dropping. All right. So Lee is continuing to intensify because remember, pressure drops, then the winds come up. So it's undergoing an eyewall replacement cycle. Pressure's dropping. Once this all comes together, I think that the Hurricane Center's forecast is a very sound call, calling for it to continue to get stronger over the course of the day today. Yep. All right. Nerd saying Eric is cool nerd. Excellent. Yeah, listen, we're watching Big Bang Theory, and I'm just there's so many little moments in that show where I'm just dying, and I'm like, how did this attract to the masses? Why did I feel singled out as a nerd? But apparently, Big Bang Theory was very good, and apparently people that weren't just nerds liked it. Like, they were talking about Life Day, and I'm like, you have to be a super Star Wars nerd to have seen the holiday Christmas special to get that reference. Like, how many people just didn't get it? I don't know. Anyway, and I love that they keep bringing back Massimino. Like, love that. Love that. Mike says, because we all have a little nerd in all of us. I mean, then why was I so made fun of as a kid? Life Day is celebrated at Walt Disney World? Shut up, is it? I mean, I'm at Disney all the time, and I've never heard that. Nikki says, Eric looks like Margot's heading toward the UK. How strong will it be at that point? You know, any kind of an organized area of low pressure is going to be a mess. It's going to lose those tropical characteristics. It's going to lose a lot of its oomph. By the time that it makes that move. Like, you can already see toward the end of the forecast cone, it's already a tropical storm here. So it's not going to be like a massive thing, but it's going to be a thing. Debbie says, yes, unofficial Life Day in Star Wars area. Seriously, I've not heard of that. So I need to look into that a little more. Like, they did put mentions of it in the Lego Christmas special, so, like, my kids are going to get that part. But, like, you haven't lived unless you've seen that horrid Christmas special. It's on YouTube. I try to watch it every year. Or have it on in the background while we're putting up holiday decorations. Chris says, people are just jealous of us nerds. I love that. Listen, I feel like I won at life. You know what I mean? Like, everybody made fun of me when I did weather at WHKS Hawks News 54 back at Lake Howell High School. But you know what I say? I'm still doing weather a few decades later. I'm getting paid for it. Granted, I do a lot of it for free, like right now, because I'm not at work and I just love what I do. But the bottom line is, I found what I loved early and I did it, baby. So for all you that made fun of me, now I never got beat up. I got in one fight. Ever tell you all about this? You heard to talk about weather. I'm talking about fighting. Oh my God. I got in one fight with my absolute best friend. That's a story and a half. It's hilarious. He stood next to me in my wedding. Like, we're still best friends. But yeah, that was the only fight I ever got into. Becca, meteorology is what I'm thinking about taking as my science class next term. So I guess I'm going to be made fun of. Oh, you better not get made fun of, for goodness sake. Did your mom get scared and move you with your auntie and Uncle Bill there? Partial data on YouTube. Love that. Nerds rule the world, man. I like that. I mean, that Sandra, I did too. Sandra says, whenever I was called a nerd in high school, I always replied, thank you. I did too. Like, I knew what I was. And I was, you know what? We are what we are. Now I get to do what I love to do. Just don't tell my boss. I like her to think that she really makes me work hard. Don't tell her. Best friend is someone who's not scared to tell you the hard truth and or confront you. Oliver, that's true. I don't remember what he and I got into a tiff about. It was in middle school. And I won the fight because I tripped over a tree branch and landed on him. Ay vey. Yukon says, I got made fun of too and was a wallflower. Now I've got a mullet because my hair is better than every other 46-year-old I know. Yeah, it is. Also, looking younger than them. And I can wear a tank top now. And actually, I'm not scrawny or too fat. Giddy up, man. Mike says, I was a bit of a nerd freshman year. Senior was teasing me at lunch. Took a wild swing at me. I ducked and banged his head on my mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh, never teased again. Ay vey. Debbie, Life Day is in November, Chris Pierce. It's a Wookiee thing. Seriously, Chris Pierce, you're retired. You need to go to YouTube, type in Star Wars Christmas Special, tape your eyes open so that you don't fall asleep, and watch it. It's terrible, but it'll be everything you need to know. Can't just tease us. Yeah, we gotta all tease each other. Okay, yeah, I told you the story, Mickey, so that's the story. The question is, where did I trip and fall on him? Yeah. I was a nerd and still am, yeah. Karen, do you and Tony Manolfi Wesh work together any chance? Yeah. Tony and I talk every day, like 7 days a week. About 9 o'clock in the morning, we talk. 7 days a week. Yeah. Tony Manolfi and I, by chance, do work together. He's my super annoying older stepbrother, is the way I think of him. Super annoying. Like, you love him, but he's super annoying, you know? That's Tony Manolfi for me. Yeah. I've always been a nerd, loved science, played in the band, random knowledge, don't care. Didn't care then either. Audra, you and I are the same. Love science. I was in the marching band. I was the band president. Bazinga. Okay. Speaking of nerd stuff, can we nerd out about one little thing? All right. So let's take a minute. I didn't mention today's high temperatures, but we do have a little bit of a nerd thing happening. Okay. Are you ready for this? Tony and Eric have a boy band. It's called Wind Direction. Don't stop recurving. All right. That was terrible. I know. I'm sorry. Good God. Seriously, if my boss ever watched Coffee Talk, she'd be like, Burris, what are you doing with your life? Go vacuum your carpet in your house. All right. Here is today. It's going to be hot. 94 in Orlando, 93 in Ocala, 89 in Daytona Beach. But what's interesting here is what's happening later this week. We haven't even, we were talking about every other thing but the weather. Look at where we're going by Friday. What? Cindy, oh my God, never do that again. On second thought, record it. Ugh, God. That's going to come back to haunt me. I have a feeling. So high temperatures are adjusting, though, as I'm like starting to turn red because I know I just embarrassed the snot out of myself. So as Hurricane Lee passes off of our east coast, let's get a little nerdy here. Give me a second. I said give me a second, huh? All right. We'll use the GFS. We'll use the 6C for this. It's going to be rough. We're going to get into a little meteorological study here. All right. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to be able to draw on this. And you wouldn't believe the kind of stuff you have to do just to be able to draw on a graphic. But we're going to do it. All right. So this is Thursday, okay? So you've got Hurricane Lee way off of our coastline, right? But here's the thing. Hurricane Lee is essentially a big area of low pressure, okay? Low pressure, meteorological nerds, Becca, study, Becca, lesson 1 in your meteorology course. Hurricanes are essentially just big areas of low pressure. All right. Low pressure brings winds counterclockwise. So as it's passing off of our east coast, this is a disastrous drawing showing that we're going to grab down some northerly winds. It's going to be breezy, but it's going to cool us just a little bit. Okay. So our 7-day forecast, look at what happens late week into the weekend. High temperatures drop from 94 today to 88 this weekend. Morning low temperatures are going to come down just a little bit. It's not a ton, but it's something. It's something. All right? It's something. Love Professor Burris. That's right. There'll be a pop quiz at the end. So it's something. Listen, it's something. It's like, yeah, it's like when you're clipping coupons. A win is a win. TJ, when these temps hit 88 degrees an hour, you're going to see some serious cooling. Oh, Doc. Doc! It's a paradox. All right, any other questions? Okay, John says, got YouTube set up with the Christmas special after coffee talk. It's on. I don't know. All right, hold on. Star Wars holiday special. Yeah, that's it. All right, hold on. I just want to try and show you like 2 seconds of it. It's so bad. Hold on. I'm going to pop it up here. Stand by. That. All right. Hold on. Let's just watch a few. Oh, advertisement. Hold on. I'm getting this all ready for y'all so you can have a good laugh. Your video will begin in 4, 3, 2. Okay, are you ready for this? This is going to blow your mind. This is on YouTube. All rights reserved and all the other copyright things that I'm supposed to say. Okay? Are you ready for this? Let's just take a listen to the Christmas special. It's an hour and 30 minutes of this. That's good, right? Like.
That's it. I'm turning back. I know your family's waiting. I know it's an important day. All right, we'll give it a try. I'll set your coordinates. I won't jump far. I'll get you back there in time, pal. Trust me. Our only hope now is to outrun that Imperial garbage scout.
Okay, all right. So this is good. This is good, but let's just skip forward a little bit. Like, what is happening here? And, like, look how young he is with some... Like, what are we doing? That's a kitchen? It's a Star Wars kitchen? And it just goes downhill really quickly. Like that. There you go. You could tell it's 1970. Tell me it's 1978 without telling me it's 1978. So I highly suggest everyone going and watching that. Exactly, Taylor. 1978, Jersey on YouTube. Imagine someone running into Coffee Talk right now. I know, Brian, they're like, what are we doing here? We definitely need something stronger. Mike. Oh, boy. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? You have your homework. You're watching the Star Wars holiday special now. That's next. Jan, you're not going to get your life back. Like, they're talking about Life Day. Trust me, you're not getting your life back. It's just so... What else is happening there? Like, we're just jamming. Let's, like... Alright. Not really sure what that has to do with Star Wars. Let's keep going.
We don't want to have to hurt anyone.
Ay, Gavalt. It's just... Alright, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. The chat has successfully derailed this weather forecast. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alright, I'm done. I'm done. And it's 8:37. I have to go to work at some point. Thank you. I think I'm going to take a 0 on that assignment. Not going to torture myself. Nikki, give yourself 10 minutes of it. That's all I ask. Give yourself 10 minutes of it. All right? All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out and enjoying Coffee Talk. Just remember today, it is the 22nd year remembering September 11th. It is the 22nd year since such has changed. And it's not a holiday. It's not certainly a day to celebrate, but I do think that it's a day for us to remember what has happened on this day. So take a moment today and try and think about sacrifices. Think about those families changed forever. Think about how we can all contribute positively going forward. And thinking about those that have been so significantly impacted. All right? All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I enjoyed the derailment. We need it every now and then. We'll be tracking storms. I'll be posting through the afternoon. Be good, y'all.